But if you were at 168, when we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
right, not now. It's at 175, yeah.
He probably can't even make 168 no.
The boxing world has been buzzing with talk of a potential clash between Terence Crawford and David Benavidez, and fans can't seem to get enough of the tension brewing between the two champions.
Hear me out here, Kamaru. Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming.
He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh my God. Relax.
What's up? The scariest guy in the division.
He's not in the division.
He said he could still make 168 pounds. The reason why he went up because nobody wants to fight him.
That's a big dude. And to be honest, Terence Crawford's 37 years old.
It's about merit. Could I get to the generational talent, as he said, with Manny Pacquiao? He's an 8-division world champ.
If it ain't no big name, Terence, do what you do, bro.
Ever since Crawford dethroned Canelo Alvarez to become the undisputed super middleweight king, his name has been thrown into every major fantasy matchup imaginable. But when it comes to Benavidez, the dynamic feels different. There's unfinished business, family pride, and a clash of eras all rolled into one fiery debate. Crawford, now 38 years old, pulled off yet another masterclass when he beat Canelo in Las Vegas to claim all 4 titles at 168 pounds. That win made him the first male fighter in history to become undisputed in 3 different divisions, a feat that cemented his legacy among the greatest to ever lace up gloves. With Canelo dethroned and no clear opponent in sight, the question quickly shifted to who could possibly challenge a man that seems unbeatable right now.
Get your reaction to Terence, what he did. That's another crazy thing, right?
No, that's not crazy. No, I say it's not crazy because I predicted. I said Canelo was going to get old in the ring that night. No disrespect to Crawford. He did a good. Crawford could have stopped him. He could have. You know, me being a coach and watching how the fight was going on, he could have stopped him. And I know he's saying it in his mind, but he was being humble of Canelo. He was being humble, and it was a great fight, and it was good talk for the boxing world. And that's what it's all about, to entertain, to get us something to look at. We've been entertained like this for years, for centuries, of gladiators and stuff, going in the ring, representing their fans.
That's when David Benavidez' name entered the mix. The 28-year-old Phoenix native, known for his relentless pressure and frightening work rate, currently holds the WBC light heavyweight title. He's already a 2-time world champion at super middleweight, the same division Crawford now rules, and he's got a personal stake in the matter. Crawford once defeated David's older brother, Jose Benavidez Jr. years ago, and the younger Benavidez has never forgotten that.
Every fighter turned down David Benavidez, including Bivol, including Beterbiev, including Joshua Buatsi, including Callum Smith. At the first call, David Benavidez's dad said it. Within 5 minutes, Turki Al-Sheikh asks Anthony, does he want the fight? And guess what? The fight was made. So Ant is there, Spence, and he always has been there. He's a fighter through and through.
That's good to hear, Tunde. That's good to hear. Simon, here's the thing. Anthony Yarde, when he's fought the likes of Kovalev and Beterbiev, he, as Tunde has alluded to, he's not afraid to go in there. And he's had some big moments against big opponents. Is he world level?
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he's world level. He's been, but the thing with, and Tunde and I will disagree on this, he's been a gallant loser. He's got a lot of currency out of being very competitive in fights with very good fighters.
Tim Bradley recently gave his thoughts on the potential bout. He's one of the few voices in boxing who's fought and analyzed enough elite fighters to know how these matchups might play out. Bradley pointed out that if Crawford chooses to remain at 168, Benavidez would be the most dangerous challenge out there. He described the difference between Canelo's compact size and Benavidez's sheer physicality, a towering high-volume fighter who never stops throwing. Bradley also made it clear that Crawford's exceptional skills keep him in any fight, no matter the odds. Still, he recognized that Benavidez brings a mix of size, stamina, and determination that few can match. For Bradley, a Crawford versus Benavidez clash wouldn't be a one-sided contest. It would be a true 50-50 war that could go either way.
Hey, but you know, if Crawford wants to stay at 168, I see a couple of guys there, man, that, you know, that I think that are our big marquee names. One particular is Benavidez. Yeah, you heard Mayweather come out and report, say that, you know, he wants Terence Crawford to fight against Benavidez. Well, Mayweather, damn it, we wanted you to fight against Margarito. We wanted you to fight against this guy and Manny Pacquiao sooner and all this stuff, but you did what you wanted to do. So sit back and just enjoy the ride, champ. That's it. Anyways, yeah, back to Benavidez. Damn, if Benavidez come back down to 168, man, that's another crazy ass matchup for Terence Crawford. Because again, look, with the skill set of Crawford and everything else he brings, right? These guys have skills too, and they bigger than he is. See, and that's difficult. That's gonna be real difficult. Now, Canelo was the perfect size, perfect style for Terence Crawford, right? To be able to contend with. But man, when you start fighting giants like Benavidez, you know, who bring the size, the volume, the stamina, the determination to win, the skill along with that, man. You know, hey, he already didn't beat little older brother. He beat older brother already, but trust me, little brother a little bit different. His mentality is a little bit different too. Yeah, we can talk about his flaws and this and that and the third, but damn it, his strengths, man, they cover up a lot of them flaws, man. And again, that determination and will to win and his ability to willingness to walk through a damn wall to get that victory like Crawford. Woo! That's a hell of a matchup. 60-40 either way, 45, 40-something and some change. Whatever you want to call it, 50-50, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Because you never want to count out Terence Bud Crawford because he that damn good. But anyways,
Interestingly, while fans were losing their minds over the fantasy matchup, Benavidez himself began to cool down the talk. Once very open about facing Crawford, even talking about avenging his brother, he has since shifted focus. Earlier in his career, he said he'd gladly welcome a fight or even sparring session with Crawford, but that was before he moved up to light heavyweight. Now, his goals lie in that division and beyond. After Crawford's historic win over Canelo, Benavidez changed his stance entirely. In a conversation with Inside the Ring, he made it clear that he's no longer interested in dropping back down to super middleweight. He explained that he's more comfortable at 175 pounds and that his future lies with the big names in that weight class: Artur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, and even Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. He acknowledged that the money for a Crawford fight would be huge, but insisted that he's focused on chasing greatness at light heavyweight and possibly cruiserweight, not looking backward to 168.
First of all, I just want to give Terence Crawford a great congratulations. He's reached a part in history that only so many fighters get to even accomplish in boxing. He's one of the greatest of all time. There's nothing, you can't take that away from him. Terence Crawford should be on the Mount Rushmore in boxing because not only did he go up 3 weight classes, he beat one of the best fighters of this generation. I don't remember any time in history where anybody has come up from 147 pounds and won the super middleweight championship. Not only just won, but the undisputed. He's won every single title. So, that man, not only is he a great fighter, but you could tell in that fight by seeing this combination right now how much of a dog he is. And I think a lot of fighters could take a lot of notes from Terence Crawford, not only physically, but take notes in the heart aspect. And I give it all up to Terence Crawford. He's one of the greatest of all time. And, we salute Terence Crawford.
Talking to him.
And let Terence Crawford live. That's his weight class.
Okay.
I lost interest in 168 a long time ago. I know that we could get offered a lot of money to go down to 168, but I'm more comfortable at 175. I'm chasing Beterbiev. I'm chasing Bivol. I'm chasing these other bigger. I'm chasing Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. You know what I mean? So I've been at 168, but I have no interest in going down.
Dude's a maniac.
That would be even an embarrassment to me to say, David's too big for Crawford. And I always said that. Plus, you've seen Bomac also. They're not interested in David, Can he still make 168? You seeing him now training at second fight at 175? Yeah, I think he's super young still. I think definitely, I don't think, it would be a little bit hard, but I think he could definitely do 168. We didn't move to 175 because of the weight. We moved because of the opportunities. And he only fought 2 fights at 175. After Anthony Yard, he'll be in shape. And, he has to work and watch his food and nutrition a little bit more. But, I think he could do 168. But, I could be wrong, But at the end of the day, we're here.
Benavidez is now preparing to defend his WBC light heavyweight title for the first time against Britain's Anthony Yarde in Riyadh on November 22nd. It's a fight that will test his strength and adaptability at the new weight class, and one that could define the next stage of his career. For Crawford, on the other hand, there's talk of taking some well-earned rest before making another ambitious move, possibly dropping down to middleweight to chase a 6th world title across yet another division. At the same time, Benavidez hasn't forgotten about Canelo Alvarez either. Though the Mexican superstar is coming off a tough loss to Crawford, Benavidez has said that he would welcome Canelo to step up to 175 and face him there, but he has no intention of moving down again. The two were once circling each other for years at 168, but now the roles have flipped. Benavidez wants to collect belts at light heavyweight and invite Canelo to his territory once he's done. His confidence in eventually unifying that division shows just how high his ambitions are.
I feel like everything that's happening in my career, I'm in a great position in every single way. I wasn't going to go down to 168, but now if Canelo wants to come up, then I got the WBC world title 175. After I beat Bivol, I'm going to have all belts. So after that happens, now I'm the one who has the power. Now I'm the one. Canelo said he doesn't fight. He fights for greatness. He fights for titles. Well, let me go pick up all the titles and let's come back into the table and talk.
While all this speculation about Crawford's next opponent continues, one man who has actually shared the ring with him, and also with Alexander Usyk, gave his own fascinating perspective. Former world champion Shawn Porter is one of the few fighters who's faced both legends, albeit in different contexts. Porter fought Crawford professionally in 2021 in what would be his final bout, while his encounter with Usyk came much earlier, during his amateur days back in 2006. Porter has faced some of the best fighters of his era, including Errol Spence Jr. and Keith Thurman. When comparing Usyk and Crawford, Porter leaned toward Crawford as the more complete fighter. Porter said that would be Terence. "I've never been in the ring with anyone who could do all the things I could. When we fought, Usyk was a southpaw, a tall, rangy counterpuncher. He wasn't a dig to the body type of guy. He's a well-rounded fighter, but he can't do everything. Terence can do everything, I could do everything, and I've never been in the ring with somebody who had it all. That's what makes him the best fighter I've been in the ring with."
There's two things with Terence Crawford, and the number one thing is his mental fortitude. The dude is just tough as, you can't even compare his toughness, his mental toughness. He hears, oh, that guy's stronger than him. He's gonna in the ring on fight night. He instantly is going to want to show that he's stronger than the other guy. The other guy's faster, can move better, and he's gonna want to show that he's better than whatever it is anybody has said this guy could be remotely close to being better than him. And hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But the other thing, after the fight with Errol Spence Jr., he was saying, I had a hard time making 147 pounds. Terence Crawford, very, very smart, intellectual when it comes to training, getting ready for his fights. He's been hitting weights for years. That's the thing that people didn't know about. So as he's moved up these different weight classes, he's already strong and physically muscular, and the endurance is there. The muscular strength is already there because he's built himself up to be in the weight class he belongs in.
That's not to say Crawford was the strongest. Porter was also asked which fighter physically felt the strongest in the ring, and to many fans' surprise, he gave that edge to Errol Spence Jr. He described Spence as incredibly durable, a fighter who could absorb punishment and come right back. When Porter faced Spence in their 2019 unification fight, he found himself in a grueling war where every punch was met with resistance. Spence's toughness, he explained, was on another level, and though Crawford eventually stopped Spence 2 years later to become the undisputed welterweight champion, Porter still remembered the physical test Spence provided.
My first time truly being hurt was when I got dropped by Errol, and everybody like praises me for looking at him and saying let's go, but like I told this story before, I said let's go because I ain't want him coming at me, you know what I mean? So I figured if I showed myself to be mad strong and mad and mean, and he would be a little more like apprehensive to come get me. But nobody told me or taught me that, you know what I mean? It's usually something you have to experience.
Meanwhile, Crawford's potential future opponents aren't limited to Benavidez or a middleweight jump. Rumors have also begun swirling about a possible showdown with Janibek Alimkhanuly, the undefeated Kazakh powerhouse who currently holds both the WBO and IBF middleweight titles. Tim Bradley, who has praised Crawford in the past, didn't hide his concern over that matchup either. He warned that Janibek is a dangerous southpaw with elite timing, power, and technical skill. A fighter who doesn't get enough recognition, but could pose serious problems for anyone. Bradley explained that Crawford's pursuit of greatness means he'll always be chasing challenges like that, but Janibek's combination of power and precision could make him one of the toughest tests available.
Woo-wee! That's a bad fight, and I'm here to tell y'all, hey, just as well as Crawford, hey, Janibek is a bad man, dude. He a dude that he ain't meant to be F with. That's for damn sure.
Still, not every name on Crawford's radar is a threat. Some are chasing him instead. Crawford recently revealed that Sebastian Fundora, the 6'5" super welterweight champion, is now eager to face him after previously rejecting the idea. Crawford explained that after beating Spence, his plan was to move up to 154 and fight Fundora to become undisputed there too. But Fundora's camp dismissed it at the time, saying the fight didn't make sense financially. Now, after Crawford's triumph over Canelo, the tables have turned. Fundora's team reportedly wants the fight, and Crawford finds the irony amusing. The same people who once dismissed him are now desperate to share the ring.
After the Spence fight, I'm like, I want to fight Canelo. You know what I mean? Spence was basically contracted to fight Canelo if he would have beat me at 164, you know, and I was just like, damn, since I beat him, I should get the opportunity.
All right, shut up.
You know what I mean? So it ain't going nowhere and things like that. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm done with 147. I ain't going back. I'm like, all right, I want to fight Fundora, you know, because I'm WBO. I can fight any one of the champions. He was WBC and WBO. So I'm like, I want to fight Fundora. You know what I mean? He got 2 belts. I want to become undisputed at 154. That was my train of thought. But when he said he didn't want to fight me because I wasn't basically big enough, I looked at him like, huh? I don't sell. That's what his handlers were saying. Oh, I don't sell, and they want to fight Errol Spence because he's a bigger fight.
But you knew what that was, though.
Yeah. It's cool. I'm not tripping on that because now they begging for a fight. Now they want to fight me now. I don't sell, so there's no need for you to even mention my name no more. Don't say Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
You know, all these guys that see now, they say, oh, he's the ticket. Win, lose, or draw, he's the ticket. I'll fight Terence Crawford. Come on, man.
Even with all these possibilities, Benavidez, Janibek, Fundora, or even Bivol, one thing is clear: Crawford continues to move differently than most fighters. His willingness to jump between weight classes, chase the toughest names, and take on seemingly impossible challenges has made him one of the sport's most respected figures. As for Crawford, his place in boxing history is already secure, but that doesn't seem to slow him down. Whether it's a clash with Benavidez that reignites family pride, a test against Janibek's power, or a daring jump to take on Bivol's technical brilliance, Crawford continues to chase greatness on his own terms. Every division he touches becomes a piece of his legacy, and every new name he faces becomes another story in one of boxing's most remarkable careers.